Welcome, everybody, to the PTP post-launch call. This is our very first call since the craziness that happened last night as we launched this company, and we just saw so many people take hold of it and really come to grips with the program that I think you guys will agree with me on is very, very easy to understand. It's going to be very lucrative for a lot of people who are here during the early stages. Some really, really great things happened over the last 18 hours, and this is a drop in the bucket to what we consider to be a program that is going to set down some strong roots and show itself to be one of the strongest travel platforms ever created in the history of network marketing. And those are big words, and they sound like I'm going off on a big tangent, but truthfully, with the leadership that we've got here and with the people that have come on board, I have never seen such a strong group of leaders gravitate to a program so quickly as I have with ProTravelPLUS. And that's thanks to you. You guys have done an incredible job on that. You know, I'm proud to be a part of it. I'm proud to be here as a CEO, but quite honestly, it has been a blessing and an honor just watching you guys work. So I just want to say, first of all, a massive, heartfelt, and huge thank you. I am so honored to be here. It is a pleasure to see what you guys are doing. It's been, for those of you who I've worked with in the past, it's been great reconnecting. And for those of you who I've never worked with before, it's been incredible to meet you and get to see the incredible work ethic that you've got. I'm going to answer a few questions that I know will probably come up in the Q&A portion. When we get to the Q&A part, you'll want to hit star 6 on your phone, and that will unmute you and give you a chance to sort of raise your hand and give us your questions. Let me cover a few things that are going on out there that I want to address. So number one, some folks have had a warning when they try to sign up that there's some sort of fraud on their account, that sort of thing, or that their fraud score came back with a negative reading. Essentially what that is, you know, our systems utilize a lot of different systems. We have a very powerful fraud protection system. It analyzes everything from, you know, if you say you're from California, but you're signing up from an IP address in Nebraska, it's going to flag that. It's going to flag that and say, hey, you said you're from California, that's where your billing address is, but that's not what we have on our files here. It says that you're in Nebraska right now. Those are the kinds of things that, and there's a lot of different systems in place. That's one example of many different things across the board. So if somebody tries to sign up and they go above our fraud score, it's not a problem. We will get them taken care of. All you got to do is send an email to support@ProTravelPLUS.com. When you do that, we can clear the score if it's acceptable. Now, if the score is off the charts, that generally indicates some kind of activity. And we haven't had that yet with anybody that's tried to join ProTravelPLUS. So I want to make that clear for those of you who have had that issue and had that come up. That has not been a problem. It tends to be more of a problem once we really start to expand internationally, because you know, in some cases, in some countries, it becomes more of an issue. Let me disable the beeps again. I thought I already disabled that. Give me 1 second, guys. All right, now we got them disabled. Sorry about that, guys. Apologize for that. Just want to keep this call clean so that we can all have a nice little fireside chat and talk about some of the things that are going on out there. So the positive thing about this is it protects your organization. So when you see those kind of errors come up, and if somebody tries to enroll and they get something that says their fraud score was too high, it's a very, very simple fix. And we'll go in and analyze the numbers and make sure, is this person really okay? In 99.9% of the cases, they are. So just send us an email. We'll generally get it fixed for you very, very quickly. Over the weekend here, I would highly recommend you guys, you know, for those of you who have my phone number, shoot me a text, give me a call, and I'll be able to take care of some of those things. Our support staff is incredibly hardworking. They do a really great job reacting to that stuff. But I want to make sure that during this particular weekend with this big push that we've got going on, that I'm there to support you guys as well and make sure that I'm there to be able to help you out with any issues. So be aware of that. That's one little thing you might want to be aware of, and that some people have had some minor issues with. And on top of that, too, just so you know, I think our system yesterday when we first launched had American Express as a payment option, and we actually at this time don't accept American Express. I think that's been disabled by now. I haven't gone through the sign-up process to verify that. If it is still there, just so you know, we don't accept American Express. Not quite yet. So for the moment, for people that are coming in, if they get an error, kind of a stranger error, and I can't remember the specifics of it, something about like transaction not authorized or unable to be processed from this terminal or something like that. It's possible that's because they were using an American Express card. Something else to be aware of. One thing that I know that you guys have seen is that there has been ridiculous growth in less than 24 hours. I mean, we launched this here. We did our launch call at 5:30 Eastern Time, 2:30 Pacific Time yesterday. Then we had a few minor hiccups, and we got those resolved, and then we came back to the table an hour later, and we filled that call. It was ridiculous, guys. The amount of people who were on that call and the amount of people who saw the vision behind this, got locked in with it immediately, was absolutely insane. And having that kind of insanity sure is fun when you launch a company. It's fun to see that kind of traction. And so now a lot of you might have been up till 3 or 4 in the morning getting people enrolled. You might have been back up early this morning going back to work. So now it comes back to a few questions that you might have in the field. So I'm going to address a few of those that may have come to your attention over the last few days. Number one, a lot of folks go click on their genealogy, they look at their matrix, and they might see some people in there, they might not see others. The matrix is not set yet. And that was one of the things I wanted to make clear on yesterday's call during our launch, was that for folks who thought they missed out and all that sort of thing, maybe they had a leader who was promising them a top spot, we are going to work with you. We're going to make sure that's all been taken care of and that things are going to be settled the right way. Moving forward, we have something called a cutoff date. Now, currently in your back office, it says that May 1st is the cutoff date. We may modify that, and if we do, we're going to notify you guys via email and via our phone calls and bump that up to possibly as soon as April 24th. The cutoff date is when the matrix sets. So the cutoff date is an important thing for a lot of reasons. Every single week, you're going to see us have a couple of calls on our cutoff dates where we basically let people know, hey, if you came in and took a look at this system, and not only did you lock into the Powerline, but you also got this great timestamp that can set you in a great place within the matrix and lock you in above all the action that's come through afterwards. So another question that a lot of people have now is, let's talk about this Powerline system. Some of you have never dealt with a Powerline system and don't necessarily understand how that works. So I want to explain how this process works. The number of people below you in the Powerline doesn't determine the number of people who will be underneath you in your matrix. That's the first thing. The Powerline is a company-wide Powerline. That means everybody who comes in from any enroller, any place in the company, can be placed and will be placed in order of timestamp below you within that Powerline. However, your matrix fills out by enroller tree, so that follows the order of enrollership. So this is a balanced and fair compensation plan that's meant to reward people who take action by getting in quickly, by ensuring that they get in above a strong Powerline, and they have the potential to make money within their matrix. And that's based on their own work and the work of the people above them within their matrix. So it is possible that somebody that's working above you could enroll enough people that someone could drop into your downline. The more exciting piece is when you go to work yourself. And I know we've had some leaders ask some questions about, how do I motivate somebody to tell others when all they have to do is come in and they don't have to sponsor anybody? So just to make it clear, the benefit and reward in this compensation plan is all built around telling others. You can make as much as $25,000 a month in this matrix without sponsoring anybody. That's possible. That's on the table. The way to really, really, really enhance that opportunity is to make sure you tell others before your matrix starts to fill out. And as you do that, you've got these massive check bonuses, these massive check matches, so that whatever those people make within their matrix, you're going to get a 30% match on your first generation, which can go as high as 50 once you qualify at 3-star elite. You're going to get generational check matches down to even possibly the 6th generation within that matrix, which means you could have hundreds and even thousands of matching checks. Now, if you're at a place where you've got thousands of matching checks in your matrix, and all those people that you've got 1,000 check matches on are averaging, let's say, just $100 within their own matrix, that can be a ridiculous amount of income for you. And depending on what those percentages are, whether those are personally attached and you're at the 30 to 50% level on your first generation, or whether they're on your second, third, fourth, fifth, or even 6th generation, that can add up to a massive amount of money. So while there is a rewarding good timing, which we all have because we're all part of this program, we haven't even hit. We're still on day 0. And until this evening at 2:30 Pacific time, 5:30 Eastern time, we won't have had 24 hours pass. So we've got a ridiculous spot. We're all in a very fortunate position to be part of that. But whether or not we had that, one of the key things for us is we want to go to work and share this with others because that's where the real reward comes in. And besides, this is a travel program. Who wants to travel alone? We want to go with our family, with our friends, bring them into this program, help them save some money on their travel, and then bring them with you on that trip. Go somewhere fun. Have a blast. That's what the whole point of this program is. So obviously, we want to be able to share that with others. So back to it, back to the Powerline. Just to make it very, very clear, the amount of people that are going to be beneath you in your matrix is not affected by the people that are below you in your Powerline. It follows the role of it follows the enroller tree through the matrix, and that's really just a fair thing to do to make sure, hey, if you told somebody about this program and they didn't land in your matrix, that'd be very unfair to you. So we do a fair and balanced compensation plan that really rewards timing, activity, action, placement, and all of those things combined turns this into a very strong compensation plan. Next thing I want to cover too, when people join our program, they're not going to see their Powerline anymore. And what's interesting about that, the Powerline is essentially, when you think about this, it's a tool that allows you to create that sense of excitement and urgency. So when you see those numbers and you see how many people have been placed below you in your Powerline, there's an urgency there to make sure that you take advantage of that by upgrading before the cutoff date happens, which happens a couple times a week. That urgency gets continued by our email system, which sends out emails to people, up to 56 emails, I believe it is, within about a 60-day period, making sure to drive home that sense of urgency and help them understand how just important it is, how great their timing was, what a great system this is, how it's going to help them to enroll others. This isn't just about you and getting emails from us. Think about this. The people you share it with are going to get these same emails. They're going to be drawn to this system. So it's a very powerful system that's going to do a lot of work for you. So once that job has been done and you log into your back office, you're no longer going to see the Powerline because essentially we'll pay you on it. But the key to it is that when you think about the company-wide action and you have these people placed below you, you're going to get paid 3% down 5 generations. So that is something that doesn't necessarily need to be visibly displayed for everybody. It's pretty clear what's going to happen there. It's not something that's going to be in flux all the time as to how much you're going to make and all that sort of thing. It's pretty much set. It's there. You know what it's going to be, and that's locked in. So that, if that helps you guys understand why we don't have the Powerline placed as an actual visible component in the back office, that's the main reason for it. It would be system intensive for us to do it, and there's really no reason for us to do it. Once you're in, you're in. You're above that Powerline. You're locked in. You've got that locked in, and now you know that you're in there. So that's a big piece of why we don't display that. A lot of people have been asking that question. The travel component, obviously we made it pretty clear, and nobody's really asked this question of me, but I'm bringing it up anyways because I think it's important to address. The travel component, we are going to make that live by next Friday, and once that goes live, we're going to have some special stuff happening with it that we'll be announcing next Friday as well. So you can count on a very, very special webinar that guides you through how to use the portal, and you can count on some really, really special announcements that are going to happen with that. Speaking of special announcements, this evening for our next call that's going to happen, our opportunity call. So this is Q&A call today for this afternoon. Opportunity call is going to happen tonight. On the opportunity call, we'll be making an even more special announcement that's going to really even enhance your efforts further as a leader to bring in people and lock them in. It's going to be a big one. And I'll tell you this, the one teaser I'll give to you on that announcement is it is based around bringing in 3 people and helping them to get 3 people. That's all I'm going to say about it, but I will say this, it's going to be a significant reward and something that's really going to help boost your growth. This is really, these first 72 hours are what we're doing. We're setting the foundation, the pillars, the big cement pillars that are going to support the skyscraper that we're all building together. So let's make sure we drive those pillars down as far as we can, drive that depth, bring in a massive team, help them get educated on what they're working with. You guys have seen how powerful these systems are and how easy this back office is to use. When you guys collect your first paycheck, by the way, you might be stunned. With this system, and I've used this system many, many times, it's in the range of about between 30 seconds and 3 minutes to get set up to collect commissions, and you set it and forget it, and you can walk away from it. And if you want to use the debit card system, you're welcome to, and in some countries that'll be your only option. But generally speaking, for folks in America, it's a direct deposit kind of situation. The money just shows up. That's it. every month, every week. And we keep in mind we do our weekly payouts based on the fast start. We do our monthlies based on the matrix because we'd be underpaying you if we didn't do that monthly. So every week and every month, you're going to get these paychecks. They're just going to show up. What a great way to get paid. It's awesome. Set it and forget it. It's a lot of fun. So I hope we've answered a few questions that you guys might have. And now what I'd like to do, I'd like to open up the call to any questions that I didn't cover. For those of you who are on here that'd like to ask anything that's, and keep in mind, this is a no-holds-barred kind of situation. Feel free to toss anything at me, and I'll be able to answer your questions and assist you a little further. So if you want to ask a question, press *6 on your phone, and then do me the courtesy of saying your name and what state you're calling from, and then go ahead and ask your question. So hit *6 on your phone to unmute.
Hi, this is Tashina.
Will Smith.
All right, let's go with the young lady first. Was it Tricia?
No, Tashina. Hi, I'm from
Tashina.
Florida. I'm from Brooklyn, New York, but I live in Florida. I came to the call late. I'm sorry about that. But my question, my question is, how exactly will we get paid? And now I see a lot of people pre-rolling instead of just signing up. Now, why are people doing that?
All right, good questions both. So how you're going to get paid is more dependent on what your preference is than anything else.
Okay.
Most people in America are going to choose direct deposit.
Right.
So that direct deposit setup, like I said before, it takes about between 30 seconds and 3 minutes to set up. You set it up once. You basically add your account number, your routing number, and tell us what bank you're with, and you forget it. After that, from there forward, every time you have a payment coming to you that's owed to you, it's just going to show up. You don't have to request it. You don't have to anything. It is one of the simplest and easiest systems I've ever seen for commissions payouts, and it's awesome. Now, outside this country, we have a system called iPayout. iPayout is essentially a debit card / direct deposit setup, and that kind of depends more on the country that you're dealing with. Some countries, I think it's like 55 countries, we can do direct deposit straight to their bank. It just goes through the iPayout system. So when we do that, I think it's a pretty minor fee, maybe in the range of like $1 or something like that. I have to verify that, so I'll figure that out. But something like $1 per commission run, and then once that happens, it goes through iPayout, and it's same kind of deal as it is here in America. That basically the funds just show up, and if they want it, then they have their choice. If they want their debit card, they can put it on a debit card. They can withdraw cash from an ATM, or they can use the debit card for the daily transactions and buy stuff at the convenience store, Target, Walmart, whatever. And that side of things, I believe, comes with a little bit of a fee for however, I think it's like $1.95 a month for fees that are for whatever funds are left on the card. That doesn't come from us, that comes from iPayout, but it's a great setup for international.
Okay. Awesome.
And then on the pre-enrollee question, let me answer that as well. So, I apologize. Essentially, pre-enrollees, there are a lot of folks who want to take a look at this program who we haven't given them a whole lot of information. I'm not going to lie. This is our leaders pre-placement phase. So right now, there's not a really great video explaining ProTravelPLUS and the discounts they can get, talking about the Powerline system, how our system works, the compensation plan. So a lot of folks are coming in, they're seeing some information, but maybe not enough to make a decision, an informed decision to join. But that's because we're in our leaders pre-placement phase. There's going to be a lot coming, and so at those pre-enrollees, I think you're going to see a big shift over from pre-enrollees to actual members over the next probably 30 days once we move into our actual pre-launch phase, which should happen. I think it's going to be about 3 weeks. I don't want to lock that down or, notarize.
Is there a specific date for the pre-launch?
I don't have one yet. Yeah, I don't want to lock that in until I know for sure that we've got all our ducks in a row, and then we'll move into pre-launch.
All right. Thank you.
My pleasure. All right, so the gentleman who's going to talk there, go ahead.
Will Smith, calling from Virginia.
Hi, Will.
Yes, sir. My question I have is, as far as placement, I'm new to MLM family, and as far as with the matrix system, I'm not really understanding as far as placement. How does everyone become placed? And how do they fall?
Essentially, that is not something that you get the option on. It's just done by our system, but based on time spent. So I'll give you a good example of that. If you came into the system today and you didn't enroll anybody, but your enroller, the person who brought you in, sponsored, let's say, 3, 4, 5, 10 people, those people are going to drop in before you had a chance to go to work, which is why there's a little bit of urgency to make sure you go to work before that happens. Because if you go to work first and you personally sponsor people before those first couple of levels in your matrix get filled up, then you've got that check match that comes with it. And then as the matrix fills out, those people are a lot closer to you in the matrix. So they might be making $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $10,000 per month in their matrix, and you're going to be earning a 30 to 50% check match off of each and every person that you bring into that matrix before it fills out. So the system is really, I guess you would call it, it's not biased. It doesn't really care, who you are, what your name is, and what you've done before in network marketing. It's all about timestamp, opportunity, and going to work quickly before the person that brought you in goes to work and starts filling it out for you. They're going to be thrilled because you're going to work and they get a check match from you and from your people and from their people and their people and so on and so forth down to the sixth generation. They're going to love that you went to work before they filled out your matrix, and you're going to love that you did it too because you took an opportunity and turned what could have been maybe a couple $1,000 a month paycheck into a $20,000 to $30,000 a month paycheck based on your efforts.
Okay. All right, sir. Well, thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Hey, Seth. This is Preston Brooks from North Carolina.
Hi, Preston. How are you, brother?
I'm doing very well. My question is surrounding the Powerline bonus. I understand that we earn 3% through the first 5 levels. What is that 3% of?
3% of the $34.95 monthly fee.
Okay. Thank you for clearing that up.
No problem.
Hey, how's it going? My name is Jonathan Ortiz, and I'm calling in from Florida.
Hi, Jonathan.
All right. I have a question. My question is, if I purchased the $200 value plan, how would I go about upgrading to the $400 value plan?
You've got 60 days to make that decision. So essentially, when you first come in, if you think, oh, man, I'm going to go for the 200, and then you look, and you won't see your matrix yet. Like I said, that'll show up after our cutoff date, which I believe, don't quote me on this yet. I think we're going to go for April 24th instead of May 1st on that, but we're looking into that. Whatever that date is, it'll show up in your back office on the left-hand side. It'll say next cutoff date. Once that shows up, you'll actually see your matrix, and you'll probably, a lot of folks here are probably going to see a lot of volume on their 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th levels. So if they came in at the monthly plan, they might say, oh, you know what, this is not a good idea. I need to bump up to at least the 200 or maybe the 400, and we give you 60 days to do that.
Awesome. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Hey, Seth, Darren in Northern California. Great to be on your call today.
Hi, Darren.
But
Welcome to the call.
You may have, thank you. You might have answered this question earlier today, but I'm going to reword it somewhat to be sure that I've got clarification on it. We heard yesterday that it takes about 500 people in our group to become a 3-star level, correct?
That's correct.
Now, if, let's say, 100 people are dropped into my matrix, does that count towards my 500 people?
Yes, it does. It's entire group volume within your matrix. So awesome. That's all that would count as well.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Hello.
And, let me clarify that a little further. Hi. Before I take your question, is it Maury?
Lori.
Lori, I'm sorry. Before I take your question, Lori, let me just finish up on this real quick. The one requirement on that we didn't mention, it's on the website, but you can't have you can't have more than 60% in one of your 2 legs. So you only have 2 legs in this matrix. If you thought of it as a binary, you want to make sure there's no more than 60% of your volume in one leg or the other to be able to achieve that 3-star lead. So that kicks in as it starts to grow, and you get to 5,000, 10,000 people in your matrix. You might find that you've got 2 strong leaders maybe on one side who are going to town, and they've got maybe 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,000 people, and you've only got 3,000 people on the other side. That's when you say, oh, I need to go to work on this side, and I'm going to work with some of my leaders over here. I'm going to help them enroll some people, or I'm going to bring in some new leaders, whatever we might happen to do, and make sure that you place them, maybe even have them enroll with somebody that you've personally enrolled that fell on that side to help them work with them. And then your check match isn't going to be as strong, but you're going to get star leads. That could mean a difference of tens of thousands of dollars every single month by doing that. So it's something to be aware of. All right. Sorry about that, Lori. Go ahead.
Hi, yes. I have a question. If somebody wanted to sign up for the 1 year and they have a card, it's a paid card or a Visa card. Would that be a problem?
We can do prepaid cards. Yeah, just be aware that when your renewal comes up at the end of the year, you can choose to renew at either the monthly or the 6 month or the 1 year when that time comes. But when we try to renew it, if there's nothing left on the card, your position is going to get active and you're going to stop earning commission. And so that's something to be really, really on top of when that happens, because there's a small window for you to be able to take care of that. So just be aware of it.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Hey, Seth. Seth, hi. It's Dean here in Southern California. How are you?
I'm great. How are you, Dean? Good to hear your voice.
Good. Thank you. Yeah, just two basic questions that I get asked. But again, you mentioned that we get 3% on the $34.95. If a person comes in at the $400 level and they bring in a person at the $400 level, do they just earn 3% of that?
No, that comes in. So this doesn't matter what level they choose as far as monthly, 6 month or annual fees. What you're going to get from that is you're going to have that's the $35 portion, their Fast Start, which we actually pay about. Well, it's actually $70. I apologize, $69.95 for your first month. We pay out $30 to the enroller, $5 to your enroller, and then $3 to their enroller, and that's how that works. So the Powerline is not attached to enrollership, so it doesn't matter who came in where. That's all based on the company. So you're going to have people fall below you in your Powerline that you've never met, never talked to, and will probably never see. Part of why we also don't display that Powerline, because then you can figure out who those people are. And some folks have used tools like that to cross-recruit in the past, and we want to avoid that.
Okay, so again, so I understand, again, because the question was asked to me yesterday from one of my enrollees that came in for the full year. He brought in a person that came in at the full year, and he asked me, well, do I get 25% of that, or do I get 30% of that?
They're going to get $30. If they came in at $400, and if that person came in at $400, they're going to get $30 from the personal enrollership. You, as that person's enroller, is going to get $5 if you came in at the $400 level yourself. And then if the person who brought you in was at $400, again, same deal, $3 to them.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
Seth, Nick from New Jersey.
Hi, Nick. How are you?
Good. I had a question about, I know I was on a call last week. We were talking about vacation vouchers, $500 vacation voucher. Is that still in effect, and is that for the higher levels, or is that for every level that you come in at?
I tell you what, on that piece, I'm going to say let's cover that next Friday once we reveal the travel portal itself, which you guys are going to absolutely love. And I think let's save that one for next week once we actually do our webinar on it, and I'll explain all that stuff in full detail.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Cool. Good question.
Hi,
all right, guys. Oh, yes, go ahead.
Hi, this is Aisha from Maryland. I have a quick question. I was looking into the upgrade. If you said you can upgrade within the 60 days or whatever cutoff date. So if someone came in at 200 and wanted to upgrade to 400, would they just pay the difference?
That's correct. Yeah, just the difference. So you'd be $200 to be able to upgrade that position. You got it.
And how do you upgrade? Is that just on the back office?
Yeah, in the back office, you'll see a link that's pretty clear there. I don't have, I'm not logged in right now. I'm actually out and about, but you'll see a link that's pretty clear that allows you to upgrade.
Okay. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thanks, Aisha. All right, guys. Well, we're coming up on 30 minutes here, so I think we'll go ahead and stop the call there. I really appreciate everybody coming on, and you guys are really well-educated leaders. It's awesome to hear these questions that are really, really detailed. You've clearly studied the program. You understand what's going on. I love that. I love it. You guys are doing a great job. I'm very, very proud of you all, and I'm looking forward to really creating the biggest success story of 2015 in network marketing. This is going to be a lot of fun. Can't wait to start taking trips with you guys, meeting everybody, shaking your hand, going out to some nice dinners, having some fun out on the beach or up in the mountains or whatever we choose to do. It's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you guys very much for being on the call this afternoon, and we'll see everybody this evening at 7 o'clock Pacific time, 10 o'clock Eastern. So it's 9 Central, 8 Mountain, and looking forward to having everybody be part of something that I think is going to be a record-breaking program. It's going to be a lot of fun. So thank you all very much for being on the call, and we'll see you all here in just a few hours. Looking forward to it, and I hope you have a great afternoon. Thanks, everybody.